While it's very true that everyone is unique and special in their own manner, some individuals in the world are simply more exceptional than others. In certain instances, the traits are downright rare, so rare, in fact, that fewer than 1% of the Earth's population possesses them. If anatomy was your favorite subject back in school, you'll love what you're going to see. So, let's start with number 15, elf ears. Anime and fantasy culture made pointy ears super popular, but some people are actually born with them on this real Earth. Known as Stahl's ear, this condition causes the upper cartilage of the ear to curve into a defined point, giving the ear an elf-like shape. It's considered a congenital deformity, but is generally harmless. Those born with Stahl's ear can hear perfectly and don't experience pain or functional issues. Some people proudly embrace the look, while others choose surgery to reshape their ears due to aesthetic preference. Stahl's ear happens when an extra fold of cartilage develops in the upper ear, creating the pointed contour. It's not especially common and usually appears randomly at birth. While some cultures might view it as unique or symbolic, in medical terms, it's just another benign variation of human anatomy. Those who have it often choose to leave it as is, viewing it as a feature that makes them stand out naturally. Number 14, extra ribs. Every single human adult has 206 bones, including 24 ribs, 12 on each side. But there are some individuals who are born with an additional 13th rib. Well, it's extremely uncommon, seen in under 1% of people. This extra rib is called a lumbar rib and shows up as an extra bone along the lower back. There's also another rare rib type that appears in roughly 1 in 200 people. This one is called a cervical rib. Unlike the lumbar rib, it forms just above the collarbone, right at the base of the neck. Most people never even realize they have one, since it's hard to detect on regular X-rays. Cervical ribs often go unnoticed unless they cause nerve compression or vascular problems, which is rare. Lumbar and cervical ribs are both examples of congenital variations that don't typically affect health, though in rare instances, they may require medical attention. Still, most people live their entire lives without ever knowing they have one. Number 13, hyperelastic skin. People with hyperelastic skin, also referred to as Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, have skin that stretches far beyond normal. Their skin feels unusually loose, rubbery, and can be pulled several centimeters without pain. This condition stems from a genetic defect affecting collagen, the protein responsible for providing structure and flexibility to skin and connective tissue. It's an extremely rare condition, with only a few hundred diagnosed cases worldwide. Those with HSN often bruise easily, and their skin may tear or scar more easily than normal. The disorder can range in severity, with some people only experiencing minor symptoms, while others face serious joint and vascular issues. Women are more frequently affected than men. While it can cause discomfort or inconvenience, the unique properties of hyperelastic skin have led researchers to explore new materials for prosthetics and medical tools. Historically, circus freak performers like James Morris, aka the Elastic Man or Rubber Man, showcased this condition in sideshows, bending limbs and stretching skin in ways most wouldn't think possible. Number 12, arm wrestling. Matthias Schlitter from Germany is often called the real-life Hellboy, thanks to his unusually large right arm, which is about 33% bigger than his left. He was born with a rare genetic condition, but Matthias didn't let it hold him back. Instead of crying, he turned it into a strength. Today, he's a professional arm wrestler who's competed in over 14 international tournaments and 8 national championships. His journey began in 2004 when his mother spotted a flyer inviting male participants. She encouraged him to give it a shot, and to everyone's surprise, he won the entire competition. Even at just 3 years old, Matthias showed signs of strength, often lifting heavy coal buckets for the family oven. Since then, he's built a name in the arm wrestling world and even defeated a robotic arm wrestling machine. Rather than hide his difference, Matthias embraced it and turned what most would consider a disadvantage into a unique competitive edge. He continues to dominate the sport today, and he said he'll keep going until the end. Number 11. Preauricular fistula. You might have seen someone with a tiny hole near their ear, or maybe you have one yourself. Well, it's this small opening is called a preauricular fistula, a congenital malformation resulting from an incomplete fusion of tissues while the ear is forming during the 6th week of gestation. The first documented case was in 1864. While it may appear on both ears, it's more commonly found on just one. Typically, these fistulas don't cause issues, but they can become infected. Infections may lead to swelling, pain, or the buildup of pus. In some cases, a cyst can develop, requiring treatment or minor surgery. These fistulas are more commonly seen in East Asian and African populations and often run in families. Despite their appearance, they don't affect hearing or ear development. Unless they cause repeated infections, no treatment is needed. Still, their presence often raises curiosity, especially among those who notice them for the first time. Number 10. Dermatographia. Well, the ability to write on skin isn't about tattoos. It's a rare condition called dermatographia, where light scratching leaves raised, red marks that look like hives. These reactions typically vanish within 30 minutes, though they can be itchy or uncomfortable. Despite how it looks, dermatographia is not contagious or dangerous. Doctors still don't know the exact cause, but possible triggers include penicillin, viral infections, and even emotional stress. It can appear at any age and often goes away on its own. Most people don't seek medical care unless the symptoms are severe or persistent. For those who do, antihistamines can help reduce irritation. Dermatographia affects the mast cells in the skin, which overreact to physical contact. While it's mostly harmless, it's one of those conditions that surprises people, especially when they realize their skin can be drawn on without ink. It's rare, peculiar, and usually just another strange quirk in how the human body responds to the world. Number 9. Stoneman syndrome. Stoneman syndrome, also called FOP, or fibrodysplasia ossificans progressiva, is a very rare condition where soft tissues gradually turn into bone. This disorder affects around 1 in 2 million people worldwide and can lead to severe physical restrictions. In FOP, the body's repair system malfunctions, forming bone in places where it shouldn't, like muscles, tendons, and ligaments. Over time, this abnormal bone growth severely limits movement, eventually locking joints and reducing mobility. In contrast, some individuals suffer from osteogenesis imperfecta, commonly called brittle bone disease, which causes bones to fracture easily, sometimes without any clear reason. That condition affects roughly 1 in 20,000 people. Both disorders lie on opposite ends of the skeletal spectrum. One hardens the body into rigidity, the other weakens it into fragility. Although neither has a cure, ongoing medical research aims to improve life quality through early diagnosis and symptom management. These two rare conditions remain among the most baffling and bizarre in medical science due to their extreme impact on the human skeleton. Number 8. Ambidexterity. Know someone who can write or perform tasks equally well with either hand? They might be ambidextrous. Ambidexterity means having the ability to use both hands with the same level of skill. It's quite rare. True ambidexterity is believed to occur in only around 1% of the population. Most people have a dominant hand, while some are mixed-handed, favoring different hands for different tasks. Fully ambidextrous individuals often excel in activities that demand coordination, like sports or music. For them, switching hands doesn't reduce accuracy or speed. Research shows that ambidextrous people may have increased communication between both hemispheres of the brain, potentially contributing to their adaptability. Famous figures like Leonardo da Vinci, Babe Ruth, Albert Einstein, and Michelangelo are said to have shown signs of ambidexterity. It's not just a curious skill, it's a legitimate neurological trait that's intrigued scientists for generations. Though rare, it comes with a few surprising advantages in daily life. Number 7. Dextrocardia. Dextrocardia is an uncommon condition where a person is born with their heart pointing toward the right side of the chest instead of the usual left. Fewer than 1% of people have it. In many cases, individuals with dextrocardia live healthy lives without complications. However, the condition can be linked to more complex anomalies, such as situs inversus, where multiple internal organs, including the liver and stomach, are mirrored from their typical positions. When these organs are also reversed, diagnosis and treatment of other illnesses can become more difficult. In more severe cases, it can affect the lungs or cause respiratory infections like pneumonia. Dextrocardia forms during fetal development, though scientists haven't fully determined what triggers it. While it can be treated in certain cases with pacemakers or corrective surgery, many people with this condition live normal lives. Still, medical professionals must be aware of it, especially during imaging or surgical procedures, to avoid critical mistakes. Number 6. Fimbrial folds of the tongue. Fimbrial folds, also called plica fimbriata, are small, soft tissue strings located beneath the tongue. These mucus-covered ridges are usually triangular and under a centimeter in length. They're positioned on either side of the frenulum, the tissue connecting the underside of the tongue to the floor of the mouth. Fimbrial folds often appear in pairs, and sometimes in sets of 4 or more. Most people don't even know they have them unless they look closely, as they blend into the surrounding tissue. Despite their odd appearance, resembling little horns, they're not linked to any medical conditions. However, in rare instances, they can get caught between teeth, causing irritation or minor discomfort. While their exact function isn't fully understood, they're considered a normal part of human anatomy. These folds don't interfere with speech, chewing, or swallowing. Though not commonly discussed, they're just another small, strange detail in the endless diversity of human physical features. All right, now, let's head over to number 5. Wisdom teeth. Wisdom teeth are usually known for painful removals and funny anesthesia videos. But did you know some people never develop them at all? This absence is genetic and traced back to ancestral traits, likely from humans with smaller jaws who didn't require extra molars. It's now considered a subtle evolutionary adaptation to modern diets, which are softer and easier to chew. In fact, about 35% of people inherit this trait and never grow wisdom teeth. While it might sound like a blessing, people without them can still experience similar symptoms, like jaw pain, swelling, or sensitivity, if other molars shift to fill the space. Evolutionary biologists believe the absence of wisdom teeth reflects the human body adapting over centuries to avoid unnecessary crowding. Some even suggest early humans who lacked them had an advantage. Still, not having wisdom teeth doesn't mean you're missing anything vital. In most cases, it's just one of those quiet, rare genetic variations. So, do you or any you know have these smart teeth? Let us know. Number 4. Face blindness. Recognizing people by their faces is something most of us take for granted. But for those with prosopagnosia, or in simple words, face blindness, it's a daily challenge. This neurological condition affects about 2% of the population and makes it difficult to identify even close friends or family by appearance. Instead, people with face blindness often rely on alternative cues, like hairstyle, voice, or clothing, to recognize others. The condition can be caused by brain injury, stroke, or developmental differences, but it can also be inherited. It doesn't impact intelligence or memory, nor does it affect sight in any way. Some individuals with face blindness can't even recognize themselves in the mirror. Notable figures like Brad Pitt and neurologist Oliver Sacks have spoken openly about living with it. Though it isn't curable, many manage the condition by adapting their routines. For those affected, social situations can be complicated, but awareness has helped reduce stigma and promote better understanding. In short, it's like a curse, or maybe a blessing. Number 3. Mirror hand syndrome. Mirror hand syndrome, also called ulnar demelia, is an extremely rare congenital condition that causes the hands to develop as mirror images. In these cases, individuals have a duplicated ulna and often lack a radius, the two bones that form the forearm. This results in symmetrical, mirrored fingers on either side of the hand, often with more than 5 digits. Fewer than 100 documented cases exist globally, making it one of the rarest upper limb anomalies. The exact cause remains uncertain, but it's believed to result from disruptions in embryonic development during limb formation. Surgical intervention is often required to improve function, but each case is different depending on the extent of duplication and mobility. While the condition presents functional challenges, some people learn to adapt well. Mirror hand syndrome continues to fascinate geneticists and surgeons due to its complexity and visual symmetry. Even today, it remains one of medicine's most mysterious hand deformities. Number 2. Peeling skin syndrome. Peeling skin syndrome is a rare and inherited disorder where the outermost layer of the skin detaches, revealing tender skin underneath. It's caused by a genetic mutation that disrupts the proteins responsible for holding skin layers together. Although the exact global prevalence is unknown, only a few hundred cases have been medically documented. The condition appears in 2 forms: localized, where only certain parts like the hands or feet peel, and generalized, where larger areas like the torso or face are affected. The syndrome doesn't always cause pain, but it can lead to discomfort, inflammation, and vulnerability to infection. Symptoms usually show up early in life, and though no cure exists, some patients manage it with moisturizers, protective clothing, and lifestyle adjustments. This disorder, while non-life-threatening, can deeply impact a person's quality of life. Its rarity and unusual presentation have made it the subject of ongoing genetic research aimed at improving diagnosis and treatment options. All right, now, let's end this with Number 1. Simian line. A simian line is an unusual palm feature that has intrigued researchers and physicians for decades. Instead of 2 separate creases running across the palm, only one deep, uninterrupted line crosses the entire hand. It's estimated that under 5% of the population has this rare crease. Interestingly, it's seen more frequently in men than in women. Males are around 3 times more likely to have it. Though the line itself is harmless, it has been associated with certain genetic disorders like Down syndrome, Turner syndrome, and Klinefelter syndrome. Still, many people with simian lines are perfectly healthy. Historical figures said to have had it include Albert Einstein, Mark Wahlberg, Tony Robbins, and Charlie Chaplin. Some studies suggest that those with this trait may have heightened memory or artistic ability, although nothing has been definitively proven. The condition remains one of the most visually distinct and fascinating hand features in human anatomy. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for hanging with us, and we'll see you soon in the next one.